So, tell me what's on your mind.
Well, I don't know. I've been thinking lately, and I don't know. I'm just tired.
Why don't you take a nap?
No, like I'm spent. I feel like I have literally nothing to contribute right now.
And how do you feel about that?
What are you, a therapist?
Well, what are you gonna do about it? You wanna take a nap or not?
Oh my fucking god.
What?
I can't do this. You know, your perspective is useless to me. Everything you see is a fantasy.
Oh, get a grip. We're the same person.
Okay, enough. Enough. Maybe I just need a breather. I don't know. You can roll your eyes at the poetic license, but, you know, there is a pendulum in place here.
What does that mean?
Well, as much as we butt heads, we both hold weight, you know.
You calling me fat?
And I'm getting the sense that it's just time to throw the ball your way for a minute.
You think so?
Think so. Well, hello. So, as of last night, I am officially on summer break. I premiered my film final to my class, which is the piece you just watched. My professor saved it for last, and it ended up going on screen at like 9:45 last night because we ran late, so I'm an old man. I was dozing off by the time it went up, but the response was great, and I'm really proud of it, so there's that. Anyway, I had the last minute chance to hop on a flight back home to Maui, see my parents, and get a little bit of a reset out of the city before things get too busy this summer. Literally this morning, I texted my mom to see if there are any flights, and I lucked out, so I have to pack because I am out of here at 5 in the morning. So while I do that, I kind of wanted to give a little bit of a conclusion to this body of work that I've been putting together, a series retrospective, if you will. I'm not above explaining my art, and these are YouTube vlogs after all, so while the point is for you to interpret it and find things to resonate with in your own mind, I have my intentions as a creative and I have my own interpretations as well. So let's get into it. To make a sort of blanket statement about what I'm doing here on YouTube, I am obviously a vlogger, but I'm also a filmmaker and a student of visual arts. And my goal is to tell a story as it is in reality, as well as how it is in my head, if that makes sense. So essentially, my videos are composed as an amalgamation of cinematic vignettes and true to form YouTube vlogs. So with this series, everything started while I was studying abroad in Tokyo. I had just a massive change of pace and a massive change of scenery, and it kind of forced a reality check on me and put into question all of the perspectives that I had. I realized I was living in a hyper speed sort of go mode, and I was sort of fast tracking on a path that I didn't really want to go down. And I talked about this in my last video as well, so I won't be too redundant with it, but basically, after I stopped in my tracks and took a second to look at my life in a bird's eye view, I realized I had been swept up by a sort of manufactured, falsely idealized perspective. And I wasn't actually happy. And so was born this project of journal entries where I had the space to just lay out all my thoughts in an attempt to isolate and dissect them and try to solve the own riddles going through my head in the hopes of figuring out why I latch on to these false perspectives, whether they're optimistic or pessimistic. And I thought it was really interesting how either outlook can be equally deceptive. And it really boils down to your choice in how you perceive reality. So my method of depicting it was by documenting my life both visually and I guess cognitively through these journal entries. And the documentary is juxtaposed with these cinematic vignettes to tell a more imagined story of what's going on in my head at the same time. In essence, the composition of it is crafted to signal the message that there are a lot of different layers that add to a composite perspective, you know, and that perspective frequently alternated between dark and bright, and that's how I used the sort of rose-colored glasses metaphor as a sort of all-encompassing narrative tool that I really resonated with. And so to close out this body of work with my final piece, I personified the different perspectives as split characters in my mind. And the central idea of the film was that the dark side of my mind is handing over power to the bright side, and I would continue to live wearing rose-colored glasses. This project has led me through a very transformative pipeline as a creative, and I'm very proud of how the body of work has unfolded. It's interesting and kind of unexplored doing something like this on YouTube because I'm posting these one by one for the world to see as I make them, rather than keeping everything hidden until the project is done and then releasing it. So I don't plan the series out months in advance. It just kind of unfolds as it does. And I really feel like that's the beauty of it. With this last film, I feel like my statement on perspectives has been made. Every aspect, every thesis kind of comes full circle in this piece. So I hope you enjoyed watching, because I enjoyed making it. The full series is available to binge, obviously, in a playlist. You can watch it all unfold at once, if you like. And with that, I feel like this conclusion leaves a beautiful foundation for my next chapter. Bye for now.